What, if any, do you think were the sort of main lessons learned?
So I would say if we had to do this again, one of the things we'd be thinking about is in terms of communication with operational teams. We would probably do that sooner and involve them in the whole process much earlier than we did in this particular case. I think in terms of patient communication, we probably underestimated the burden that it would be, and I would say that what we learned from it is we could do things in many different ways. So just to illustrate, we've spoken to a number of different trusts since, and we found that people have used things such as text messaging, and I think there's people who have used an interactive patient portal, and that all cuts out the letters. So when we got the guidance, it talked about letters, and we went that way on the assumption that that was the only way to go. So I think we would do that slightly differently if we were to do it again. Other thing is in terms of governance. I think fortunately for us, we've got that mostly right, and it's really useful to be able to very quickly make the information and data visible to stakeholders, and that means you get a lot of support early in the process. So that I think worked really well for us.
Yeah.
And in terms of data, I think the key lesson for us, and this has been quite difficult, not only because we've joined up with a number of, we've joined up as a group now, and we've got 2 other trusts using different PAS systems. But I think in terms of data, what we've learned is you absolutely have to nail it at the beginning. Make sure you know what you need. Make sure it's in the right format. Make sure your PAS system can accommodate it, and that your reporting team can pull it out. And it's that sort of thing that I think in other times you perhaps rush into probably the doing without doing the initial planning, and then find that you've done a lot of work but it can't really be reported on. And so it's really thinking ahead in terms of this is what we'll need at the end, rather than, and then beginning to plan for that quite early. And I think one of the things, for instance, like we did, and I'm not sure that everybody would do it this way, was to look at the national reporting requirement and look at the fields that we were expected to report on, and start thinking about how we would map our data to that. And then began to work very quickly with our config and reporting teams to make sure that that was in place. I think it's quite useful to have good communication and just being able to draw in the operational teams quite in terms of the data as well, enabling them to understand not just what needs to go in, but the reports that come through. So in terms of data quality, it's being able to have those data quality exception reports so that operational teams can very quickly spot where things are going wrong and get those corrected as we go along. And I think finally, it would be around the access policy and how we apply that. So with COVID, for instance, with the new categories, the priority 5 and 6, it's being able to not just do the doing, but also look at how your access policy could be changed, flexed to accommodate these new categories, and just be sure that all patients can access care equitably, irrespective of what P score they might be sitting on.
So this is an exceptional set of circumstances, and we need to make sure that our services remain patient-facing. I think that's very, very key. Paula, thank you so much for your time today. That's been very, very helpful, and I'm sure the audience will appreciate the run-through of what happened at Mid-Essex Hospital Trust and associated sites. So thank you once again, the audience. Thank you for your time as well. We hope you found this useful. The video obviously is on the Futures platform, and you can look forward to more case studies, content, support and documentation around restoration and recovery on the Elective Care IST hub page and recovery pages. So thank you.